Archangel Michael is shouting, "A snake around you has been destroyed." The name revealed will hurt but set you free forever. Open immediately. Archangel Michael is shouting, this is not a whisper. This is not a suggestion. This is not a moment to scroll past. This is a divine interruption. A cry from heaven's war room. A midnight blast that shakes the gates of sleep and confusion. Archangel Michael, commander of heaven's hosts, is shouting with thunder in his voice and a sword in his hand. A snake around you has been destroyed. Yes, it's true. That spirit which coiled itself in quiet, that presence which wrapped around your peace, that subtle slither that kept you second-guessing your purpose, your worth, your next step, it has been struck down by fire. Michael's blade has come down, swift, holy, final. This is the divine hour. This is not just another day. This is a turning in the spirit. What was hidden must be revealed. What was concealed in darkness is being brought to light. At this appointed spiritual moment, heaven has issued a command. Reveal the name. Expose the root. Bring healing through pain. But listen carefully, for this is not a message for every ear. This is for the willing. This is for those who are ready to be clean, to be free, to be chosen, even if it hurts. Because the name that will be revealed will sting. It will shake you. It may even feel like betrayal. But that name has held power in the shadows, and once it is named, it will never have hold over you again. Michael does not speak lightly. His voice is like lightning cracking over waters. When he speaks, things break. He stands now, not in heaven but beside you. His wings spread wide. His presence, wind and flame. His eyes, fixed. He's guarding you as this truth comes forth. Before we go further, stop. Be still. Bow your head. Do not treat this lightly. Do not listen passively. Heaven is watching who receives. This word is not for curiosity, it is for deliverance. It is for purity. It is for those who will not run from truth, but run through it. You have sensed the presence. You have felt the tightening. You have questioned your instincts. You have prayed, show me who is real. And now heaven is answering. The seal is breaking. The snake is slain. The name is coming. But you must choose to open. Because this word will not chase the unwilling. It will find only the ready. Open immediately. This word will find only the willing. Type "I am ready" in the comments if this message finds your spirit. Blessing code 333 is now released upon you. Listen now, Michael is shouting. The heavens are not silent. The air is splitting open. There is a divine sound that interrupts the noise of confusion, and you can feel it in your bones. It is not imagination. It is not coincidence. This is the shout of heaven's war general, and it is coming for you. He stands, not far away in some distant realm, but beside you. Sword raised, armor lit like white fire, wings stretched wide over your home, your sleep, your steps. The voice of Michael is like a trumpet made of lightning, like the rumble of ancient thunder meeting the wind. His name is not spoken lightly, for when Michael shouts, darkness flees, lies tremble, and truth pierces like fire through fog. And now he is shouting your direction. This is not a casual moment in time. This is not just another video. This is an appointed cry, dispatched for those who are standing at the edge of exposure, caught in the pressure of silence, and feeling something tightening around their spirit, even if they couldn't name it yet. By sunrise, before the next breath, within 72 hours, this word will activate. And for many of you, it already has. There was a trumpet in the spirit, a holy sound that split your sleep, that broke the rhythm of distraction. It showed up as a dream you didn't understand, a conversation that suddenly felt off, a pull in your stomach, a name that echoed without invitation, a sudden sense of watching eyes. And now, you know you're not crazy. You were being warned. The snake was coiling, but Michael's sword was already lifting. This is why this message had to come now, because the hidden entanglement was nearing its breaking point. Because heaven is not interested in delay. Because your prayers, yes, your prayers, summoned a response. You did not choose these words. I did not choose these words. Heaven chose this hour. Heaven chose this moment. And heaven chose you to hear it. But this word is not for the passive. This is a scalpel to the soul, not a comfort pillow. This is not for those who want to be entertained. This is for those who want to be free. If you are tired of circling confusion, if you are ready to rip off the mask of manipulation, then stop everything now. Be silent. Kneel in your spirit. Close your eyes if you must. Raise your hands. Let there be no distraction, no delay. You must listen with every cell of your body, because what you are about to receive is not just information. It is spiritual revelation wrapped in holy fire. Now this is the promise. The snake has been destroyed. It will not choke you anymore. It will not whisper behind your joy. It will not sabotage your sleep, your money, your mind, or your movement. But here comes the other side of the sword. A name is being revealed, and that name will hurt, because it will tell the truth. It may come as a person, a habit, a secret pact, a role you thought was safe, but that name has been feeding off your silence. It's been drawing power from your ignorance, and now it must die too. Get ready to receive it. Take a deep breath. Say aloud, I open. Say it again. I open. Now keep a pen nearby. The name may not come through this voice. It may come through your own obedience. It may come in a whisper, in a dream, in a message, in a memory. It's coming. When it does, write it down immediately. You will feel it before you see it. You may smell smoke in the spirit. You may feel warmth in your chest, like something releasing. You may taste metal in your mouth, like the residue of spiritual war. These are signs of the sword. Do not fear them. You are not dying. You are being set free. And now listen closely. If you open now, the unraveling begins. If you ignore this, the snake will recoil. The choice is yours. But Michael is shouting, and his voice will not be wasted. Type I open in the comments if you are ready to receive this word. Lesson code 144 is now activated over your life. A snake around you has been destroyed. But do you know when it first coiled? Do you remember when you first felt it slither in? There has been a desert of whispers moving silently through your life. You didn't notice it at first. It showed up in glances that felt off, in conversations that shifted when you walked in sudden silences from people who used to flood your phone. It looked like subtle changes, shifts in atmosphere, a coldness in once warm places, laughter that didn't include you anymore. You may have shrugged it off, told yourself it was in your head. You tried to pray harder, be kinder, stay open, but still something felt off. And now heaven is confirming what your spirit already knew. You've been watched. Not with eyes of love, but with eyes of envy. Spiritual surveillance has surrounded you. They didn't say it out loud, but they've been studying you, measuring your movement, mimicking your language, smiling while clawing. And here is what heaven is revealing. They knew something, but not everything. They sensed your light, but they couldn't define your oil. They watched your favor but couldn't access its source. So they moved in close, not to honor, but to harvest. The snake did not strike immediately. It studied and waited. It wrapped it. And the wrapping looked like loyalty. It looked like friendship. It looked like love. But behind the performance was a tightening. You began to feel it in your sleep, interrupted rest, sudden dreams filled with confusion or shadows. You began to notice small betrayals, a shared secret that wasn't yours anymore, a delayed answer, a shift in tone. Your body began to react, tightness in the chest, racing thoughts in safe rooms, a grief you couldn't name. This is not paranoia. This is prophecy. What you've been feeling is the emotional residue of spiritual warfare. The snake had access. And when a snake has access, it doesn't always strike with fangs. Sometimes it squeezes. It suffocates with cycles. Cycles that made you question yourself. Cycles that made you overextend, overgive, overexplain. It twisted your perception. You began blaming the wrong things, the wrong people, even blaming yourself, while the real enemy sat in silence and smiled. Heaven saw it all. There were moments you thought, "Am I the problem?" But what you were really feeling was the spiritual bruising of being surrounded by false proximity. People who should have protected you didn't. People who should have fought for you faded. People who were positioned close were sent by something else. The snake was not random. It was assigned. And the pain you feel now is not weakness. It is the friction of revelation. Your soul is finally identifying the source of the sabotage. The name that's about to rise will not be comfortable. It may be someone who sat at your table. It may be someone who spoke blessings while cursing. It may be something you clung to, believing it was God, when it was never Him. But hear this, the pain is your passport. Because heaven is not just removing the snake, it is revealing the source. And the source is not always external. Sometimes it is a pattern, a lie, a false loyalty, a trauma attachment masquerading as discernment. That's why this hurts. But that's also why this works. This word is not just uncovering dissection. It is untangling you from it. It is showing you the moments that didn't make sense, and now it says, here's why. That business deal that dried up, that sudden distance in a relationship, that unexplained sickness, that inner sabotage. The fingerprints are being dusted. The veil is being pulled. Truth is cutting in. This may make you weep. This may make you sit in stunned silence. but let it come. Because the revelation is not here to destroy you. It is here to deliver you. This is disruption. Yes. But it is holy disruption. And it's not the end. It's the beginning of your purging. It's the fire that will burn off the false coverings. It's the crack of Michael's sword and the hissing silence that follows. Because the name is about to come. And when it does, you will never bow to it again. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. If this message is cutting deep, it's because it was meant for you. You are not just watching a video. You are standing in the middle of a spiritual transaction. Every seed sown into this work helps break deception off another life. This is about deliverance, not donations. Heaven says in 2 Corinthians 9:10, "Now he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will supply and multiply your seed for sowing." That promise isn't theory, it's living power. When you support this message, you are sowing into open eyes, shattered chains, and revealed names, not just for yourself, but for others. I feel led to say this directly. If you've been delivered, if something inside you stirred, if a name came up already, then your giving is your prophetic yes. Your act of support breaks through for someone still trapped. You can activate your support through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or the PayPal link in the video description. Don't delay. Obedience opens doors. This is holy ground. This is breakthrough soil. Now sow, and watch God multiply. You thought this was just tension. You thought this was just drama. You thought this was just life. But no, this was war. And it was personal. Let me speak plainly now. That strange pressure you've been feeling, that disruption that kept following you from relationship to relationship, room to room, opportunity to opportunity, that wasn't coincidence. That wasn't just life. That was spiritual targeting. The snake wasn't just attacking your emotions. It was trying to suffocate your calling. This wasn't just someone being cruel to you. This was warfare designed to delay your purpose. Heaven would have you know, conflict is rarely random for the chosen. You're not under attack because you're weak. You're under attack because you carry something holy, something disruptive to the plans of darkness, something sacred that has marked you for impact. That's why the pressure came. That's why the enemy disguised himself in closeness. He used camouflage. He wrapped himself in people who earn your trust. Be infiltrated through the familiar. And while you prayed for peace, war was brewing beneath the surface. But now, Michael has drawn the line. His sword has fallen. The snake is exposed, and the battlefield is lit. You were never crazy. You were never too sensitive. What you were feeling was the heat of the unseen. You were on heaven's radar, and hell tried to interfere. And now, we must reframe what you've endured. This was not just betrayal. This was not just pain. This was not merely emotional fatigue or interpersonal friction. This was targeted sabotage, orchestrated to make you sit down, shut up, and settle for less than you were anointed to become. But it failed. And now, heaven is unrolling the scroll. Now the courtroom of God is issuing declarations. Listen. The enemy never wastes energy on someone without potential. He didn't send confusion your way because you were small. He sent confusion because you were close to clarity. He didn't twist hearts around you because you were unworthy. He twisted hearts because your worth was becoming too visible. He planted the snake where you least expected because it was the only place you'd let your guard down. But the truth is, the fact that you were attacked is evidence that you were marked by heaven long before the betrayal came. This is where heaven invites you to shift your understanding. The conflict wasn't punishment, it was confirmation. You were trusted with tension because heaven was preparing your discernment. God allowed the friction to show you who's real, what's toxic, what's sent, and what's safe. You weren't abandoned. You were being trained. You weren't forgotten. You were being fortified. And now hear this. The sword of Michael doesn't just cut enemies, it cuts illusions. And what's being severed now is the lie that you are unworthy, unwise, unlucky. The beloved, you are not under attack because you are weak. You are under attack because you are rising. Angels have been dispatched. Michael is not alone in this assignment. Heaven has been watching. Every betrayal has been recorded. Every false agreement is being broken. Every poisonous word spoken behind your back has been heard and is being brought to justice. But you must not react in the flesh. You must not fight this with your emotions. You must not confront out of anger. Heaven is handling this with a precision you cannot replicate. You are not required to expose anyone. You are required to observe, to record, to discern. This is your moment of holy stillness, of watching heaven fight for you. The snake was clever, but not divine. And now that its identity is being revealed, the scales are falling. The pain you feel is not your fall. It is your ascension. God was never surprised. This was always part of the exposure. And now that the sword has struck, what happens next depends on your posture. Will you withdraw in fear? Or will you walk in revelation? You are not being humiliated. You are being elevated. And those who tried to twist your truth will soon witness your rise. So listen closely. Heaven is moving. Angels are recording. Michael is standing. And you must be silent enough to hear what the Spirit is saying. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you are ready to see through heaven's eyes. Blessing code 777 is now surrounding you. Listen closely now. What was hidden is being stirred. What was veiled is beginning to tremble. You are stepping into the hours of exposure. Prepare your spirit. Prepare your posture. Because something is about to move. This is not symbolic. This is not metaphor. This is not a far-off event wrapped in mystery. This is now. Within the next 72 hours, something will shift around you. Something will rise up. Someone will reach out. A thread will pull, and the truth will begin to unravel. Because when heaven breaks a snake, the enemy panics. And when the name is about to be revealed, the circle that once protected it begins to scatter in chaos. Even now, whispers are turning into arguments. Secrets are turning into slips. What was once carefully hidden is becoming heavy with fear. Because heaven is pressing on the pressure points of deceit. And those who carried the venom, knowingly or unknowingly, can feel their time running short. You will begin to see strange things. Unexpected communication. A message out of the blue. An old number calls. A sudden invitation. An urgent meeting that feels out of place. A file that appears without warning. A post online that stings for no logical reason. These are not coincidences. These are spiritual triggers. Because now the snake is being driven out of its hole. The light is too bright. The truth is too close. And so, it will begin to flail, to lash out, to distract, to confuse. And the Spirit of God says to you now, do not engage. Do not react. Do not strike back. You are under divine surveillance. You are being watched not by man, but by angels. You are covered in the presence of Michael, and your silence is more powerful than any scream. The enemy expects you to retaliate. Do not give him the satisfaction. There is movement happening in realms beyond your sight. Documents are being opened. Conversations are being recorded in heaven's courtroom. Every action you take from this moment forward must be done under the weight of wisdom. You must become strategic. You must become silent. You must become anchored. Because what you are about to feel, the pressure, the tension, the confrontation, is not designed to break you. It is designed to flush the serpent from the shadows. The Spirit will expose the tongue that lied, the hands that meddled, the spirit that twisted your path. But be warned, the name will hurt. It may belong to someone you love, someone you defended, someone you opened your life to. You may feel a sudden drop in your stomach when it happens. It is the sound of false hope collapsing. That is the pain of your spirit releasing what it once believed was safe. Do not panic when it comes. Do not fear the fallout. Ever has already prepared the next steps. What feels like a collapse is really a cleansing. What feels like betrayal is actually a spiritual repositioning. You must not chase closure. Heaven is your closure. Now is the time to protect your atmosphere. Pull back. Withdraw from the noise. Refuse to explain yourself to those who were never listening with pure ears. Refuse to prove your innocence to those who already made up their minds. Gather your peace and guard it like a sword. If confrontation rises, let it come. But you must be led by prayer, not pride. You must gather witnesses, spiritual counsel, and clarity before you speak. Because this is not about proving your truth. This is about allowing heaven to display it. The storm is building. You can feel it. The ropes are tightening. The heat is rising. But remember, fire does not destroy the anointed. It refines them. And Michael stands at the edge of the storm, his sword dripping with light, his wings spread like a shield. You are not alone. So expect the move. Do not be surprised. Be prepared. Because within the next 3 days, the shift will begin. And when it does, may your spirit already be in posture. Type I am covered in the comments if you are ready for this shift. Blessing code 888 is now surrounding your steps. Now that the sword has fallen and the shift has begun, you must move differently. Heaven has done its part. Now it is your turn to protect what God has revealed. You are no longer standing in the dark. You are no longer suffocating in confusion. The name that held you hostage is trembling. The snake has been struck, and its influence is unraveling. But do not be fooled. Even a severed serpent will try to writhe in its death throes. Even a defeated spirit will attempt to reclaim territory through distraction, deception, and drama. You must not allow it. This is a call not to war, but to spiritual alignment and precision. The victory has begun, but protection must be sealed. You must now come into full agreement with the covering of heaven. That means stillness when your flesh wants to speak, silence when the provocation comes, obedience when old habits try to rise. The enemy is watching for openings. He is testing the borders. But he will find them sealed if you obey what heaven is now instructing. Be still. Be watchful. Be grounded in faith, not emotion. Do not rush into conversations, confrontations, or clarifications. Heaven is doing the heavy lifting. You are being asked to steward the stillness. This is where most people fail. They want to be both delivered and vindicated. They want God to act but also to explain themselves. Do not fall into that trap. Your silence is a strategy. Your restraint is a sword. Declare over yourself even now, by Michael's command, I am covered. By heaven's fire, I am sealed. By God's hand, I am surrounded. These are not empty words. They are declarations of alignment. They are commands to the realm of the unseen. Speak them daily. Speak them hourly if you must. Let them rise from your spirit as a banner that marks your territory. This ground is now holy. You may feel the urge to talk, don't. You may want to post something cryptic, don't. You may want to call someone to just get closure, don't. Heaven is silencing the serpent. You not speak life back into it with your mouth. This is a consecrated moment. Gossip, complaining, or even subtle venting can pull you out of the covering. God is not playing with this moment. You've prayed for breakthrough, and it's here. But breakthrough is not sustained by emotion. It's sustained by instruction. If possible, take time to fast. Even one meal. Even 1 hour. Let it be a physical declaration that your appetite is spiritual. Anoint your forehead, your chest, your doorposts with oil if you are led. Place your hands on your chest and speak, my spirit is covered. My heart is sealed. My house is guarded. Walk through your home with intentional faith. Declare the blood of Jesus over every room, every door, every space where the snake once had access. This is not ritualism. This is strategic obedience. These actions don't earn your protection. They activate your awareness of it. Because the angels are not coming. They're already here. Michael is not on the way. He is already standing guard. And those who align with heaven's guidance will walk untouched even in the heat of the storm. Write down every strange occurrence, every dream, every conversation that seems oddly timed. Journal them. Do not interpret them in haste. Bring them before God in prayer. This is a time of heightened revelation. Heaven is speaking through layers and symbols. Don't miss the whisper by looking only for the shout. You are being shielded, but you are also being trained. This is what it means to walk with God, not just to be delivered, but to be disciplined in divine timing. Trust that your silence is shaking more in the spirit than any argument ever could. Trust that the name revealed will lose all its power as you remain under divine protection. You have been pulled out of the pit. Now you must walk carefully as heaven reestablishes your feet upon solid ground. Let the snake hiss. It has no venom left. Let the name echo. It has no chains anymore. Obey. Anoint. Declare. Withdraw. Eku. Believe. This is your spiritual armor now. And as you walk in obedience, know this: your protection increases with every step of submission. Type "I am shielded" in the comments if you are sealing this word in obedience. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding you with fire and favor. You survived the squeeze. You've endured the silence. You obeyed the stillness. And now, heaven declares this: you will not leave this fire empty. You will rise with glory. This is not just deliverance. This is divine elevation. You were never meant to stay crawling through the dust of betrayal. You were never meant to live under the shadow of someone else's sabotage. The snake has been destroyed. The name is being revealed. And now the mantle is being restored to your shoulders. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are not a victim. You are a vessel of fire, refined by storms, awakened by pain, anointed through pressure. Hear the voice of heaven now echoing through your spirit. This is not your breaking point. This is your birth. You've been asking why it hurt so deeply. You've been asking why it took so long. You've been wondering why the warfare was so specific, so personal, so cutting. And now, the Spirit of the Lord says, because you were not being punished, you were being prepared. You are rising now, not as the same version of yourself, not as the version that tolerated confusion, not as the one who made excuses for red flags. And no, you are rising as a purified warrior, eyes wide open, heart guarded by discernment, mouth filled with authority. You are no longer the prey. You are no longer the confused. You are no longer the one trying to keep the peace while being poisoned in secret. You have stepped into spiritual maturity, and heaven honors that. Look at the shift around you. What once intimidated you now holds no power. What once bound you now lies in ashes at your feet. What once delayed you is now dismantled. The spiritual realm has acknowledged your obedience, and now the authority that was hidden inside you is beginning to surface. You're seeing clear. You're speaking bolder. You're discerning faster. This is not coincidence. This is the fruit of your surrender. And now comes the time to take back territory. You will not remain silent forever. You will not sit on the sidelines of your calling. You will not postpone your assignment another day. The residue of pain is lifting. The fog of dissection is clearing. And heaven is placing something in your hand. A new sword, a new scroll, a new strategy. Declare this aloud even now. I am rising. I am appointed. I am aligned. I am free. Let the atmosphere around you shift as you speak. Let your words become weapons. Let your spirit respond. Every chain you break in your mouth, every lie you reverse with truth, every time you speak life into your dry bones, you are reinforcing your dominion. You walk through the fire, now wear the flame. You've endured the silence, now speak with prophetic clarity. You've held your peace, now walk in your purpose. Let the old identity fall away. Let the ashes mark your testimony, not your identity. You are not who they thought you were. You are not who the enemy hoped you'd remain. You are not the discarded. You are the destined. And yes, you will begin to see signs of your rising. Unexpected favor. Unexplained peace. Open doors that were once locked. Relationships shifting back into place. influence returning, dreams coming alive again. Not because you forced it, but because you aligned with heaven. And when heaven sees surrendered, heaven releases strife. It's time to move. Start small. Declare something daily. Write a vision. Send the email. Take the step. God is not asking for your perfection. He's asking for your agreement. Obedience is the key to momentum. Faith is the fuel. Fire is already burning around you. And so I speak this over you now. You are not crawling out. You are rising up. You are not surviving anymore. You are soaring. You are not waiting for validation. You are walking in confirmation. Type "I am rising" in the comments if you are stepping into your divine elevation. Blessing code 444 is now released over your purpose. This is the moment where the veil fully tears. This is the hour of clarity. The snake has been crushed. The name has surfaced. And now comes the revelation that will not just free you, but change you. Everything that happened had a purpose. It wasn't just betrayal. It wasn't just spiritual warfare. It wasn't just an attack. It was a divinely timed confrontation between what was fake and what was true, between what was sent to trap you and what was placed within you to last every trap. The Spirit of the Lord says to you now, the reason it hurt so deeply is because you were carrying something too holy to be wrapped in what was counterfeit. This pain, this exposure, was never about breaking you. It was about unlocking you. The name that was revealed, the face that was unmasked, the voice that turned, the agreement that broke, it all led to this moment. Your soul's release from a silent prison you didn't know you were in. That's the revelation. That what you thought with loyalty was actually limitation. That what you thought was love was actually leverage. That what you thought was favor was actually a false gatekeeper, planted by the enemy to delay your true emergence. But here's the prophetic truth. Heaven used it anyway. God, in His wisdom, allowed the snake to slither close so that you could learn to hear your discernment louder than your desperation. He allowed the pain to come so that your roots would be driven deeper into Him. He allowed the silence to stretch so that when the name finally emerged, it would carry no more power over you, only clarity, closure, and consecration. You must understand, this was not simply emotional. This was a spiritual contract being severed. This was an ancient agreement being canceled. There are curses that were running through generations that now stop with you, because you didn't just survive the betrayal, you submitted it back to heaven. You didn't just suffer, you surrendered. And your surrender became the legal evidence heaven needed to finalize your freedom. The scroll has been unsealed. The gate has opened. The locks are undone. You will feel it now, a lightness in your chest, a lifting in your mind, a sudden awareness that you are no longer obligated to carry that relationship, that memory, that expectation, or that shame. The snake was destroyed. The name was exposed. And now, the prophetic key is being handed to you. Your access has changed. The realm around you is shifting to accommodate the new version of you, the version heaven always saw, but hell tried to delay. And with this revelation comes reward. Favor will follow revelation. Breakthrough follows obedience. Glory follows pain. Yes, blessings are coming, but they will not be like before. They will not come with compromise. They will not be wrapped in manipulation. They will be pure. They will be holy, and they will be undeniably from God alone. You will begin to walk through doors that no one can close. You will begin to see opportunities that come with peace, not pressure. You will begin to connect with people who don't just tolerate your oil, they honor it. The enemy meant to trap you in a cycle, but the Lord used it to elevate you into a new cycle of favor, of revelation, of divine promotion. Heaven has marked you. Michael has cleared the path. And now, the Spirit whispers, walk forward with no fear. The fire behind you will never touch you again. Let the name go. Let the pain rise and pass. Let your soul breathe again. This is your prophetic moment. This is not theory. This is not guesswork. This is revelation straight from the throne. And those who receive it will feel the weight break. They will feel the page turn. They will know it is finished. Type I receive the revelation in the comments if this word has pierced your spirit. Blessing code 555 hath been activated over your life and legacy. You're not just watching a message, you step into a move of God. If this word unlocked something in your spirit, then it was not just for you. It's for the next person still trapped by the same unseen snake. When you support this ministry, you're helping push this kind of fire-filled truth into the lives of people who are desperate to hear it. This is about freedom, not finances. This is about souls, not stats. God says in Isaiah 55:11, my word shall not return to me void. And when you sow into the word, you become part of its movement. Your giving becomes a spiritual partnership with heaven's strategy. The snake is being crushed not just in your life, but in households, marriages, and minds around the world because of support like yours. If the name was revealed, if the burden lifted, if your eyes have been opened, then respond. Seal it with a seed. Super thanks, membership, or PayPal in the description below. Give into this revelation like it matters, because it does. You're not funding a channel. You're igniting deliverance. Step in. So now that the name hath been revealed and the snake destroyed, you must not return to old patterns. This moment was never just about deliverance. It was always about activation. Heaven never sets you free just so you can breathe. Heaven sets you free so you can build. You were not rescued just to rest. You were rescued to rise into rulership. The chains are off. The spiritual contract is canceled. The shadows have retreated. Now the Spirit of the Lord asks you, what will you do with your freedom? Because this is not the season to shrink. This is not the hour to hesitate. The warfare has cleared, and in its place stands a doorway, a prophetic threshold into territory that was always yours but was delayed by distraction and deception. Your feet have been cleansed, your discernment sharpened, your tongue refined by silence. And now, you are being handed assignment, the kind that comes after fire, the kind that comes after the sword. There is a shift happening in the atmosphere. Heaven is aligning people, resources, and moments for you. But listen carefully. Heaven moves at the speed of your yes. God is not waiting for your perfection. He is waiting for your participation. You don't have to understand every detail. You just have to respond. And your response today becomes the seedbed of divine momentum. So take a breath and speak this aloud with fire in your spirit. I say yes to my destiny. I will not delay. I will not doubt. I will not disqualify myself. I align with heaven's timing now. When you say those words, something shifts. Angelic records begin to change. Principalities lose access. Clarity begins to flow. Because obedience opens doors that warfare tried to keep shut. Now it's time to activate. Not just with your words, but with your actions. I'll wait until next month. Heaven is moving now. Write the vision. Send the message. Make the phone call. Submit the idea. Show up to the place you've been avoiding. Take that one bold step, even if it's small. Because small steps in alignment release massive acceleration when they are backed by the weight of heaven. If you're unsure where to begin, start with this simple ritual today. First, declare your yes aloud. Lot in your mind. Lot in your journal. With your mouth. Let your words carry authority. Heaven listens to the sound of obedience. Second, if you have anointing oil, anoint your hands and speak. What I touch will prosper, because I touch it with purity. Third, release one thing, a fear, a lie, a hesitation. Say it out loud and renounce it. Break agreement with what delayed you. This three-step act becomes a prophetic blueprint for the next phase of your walk. Do not despise small beginnings. This is not about crowd applause. This is about divine accuracy. Even if no one sees your step, heaven records it. Even if no one validates it, God breathes on it. Remember, most breakthroughs don't begin with fireworks. They begin with faithful obedience in silence. But make no mistake, the moment you move, heaven responds. There will be signs. Unexpected favor. A call back. A forgotten opportunity reopened. Confirmation in a dream. Peace where there once was pag. These are not flukes. These are heaven's nods of acknowledgement. Signs that you're finally aligned. So rise now. Shake the dust off your feet. Clean your ears from the old voices. Speak your declarations. Write your vision. Prophesy over your future. You are not an extra in someone else's story. You are the main character in a divine script written before you were born. And you will walk in it. You will live it. You will finish strong. Type ISAYYES in the comments if your destiny is being activated today. Blessing code 1717 is now open over your path. While you slept, heaven moved. While you wept, heaven recorded. While you obeyed in silence, the spirit realm responded with soundless thunder. What you could not see, what you could not name, has already been shifting behind the veil. This is not imagination. This is not wishful thinking. There is a courtroom in heaven where your name has been spoken, not in accusation, but in redemption. The same God who saw you suffer in silence has summoned angelic witnesses. Michael, the warrior of fire, has stood in your defense. And while others spoke against you in secret, while deception twisted itself into rooms and conversations, God remained silent, not absent, but active, not ignoring you, but intervening in the unseen. You must understand this. When God goes quiet, it is often because He is negotiating your restoration in realms your eyes cannot reach. He does not need your opinion. He needs your obedience. And while the snake whispered, while the betrayal brewed, While the confusion circled your mind, heaven was conducting an exchange on your behalf. A silent, holy trade. A reversal. A transaction in the spirit that has now begun to manifest in the natural. What was stolen from you is being recalculated. What was lost in hidden warfare is now being compensated. Every tear that fell into your pillow was caught. Every moment you chose honor over retaliation was counted. Every time you bit your tongue, every time you said, "God, I trust you even though this hurts," it became spiritual currency in the courtrooms of justice. And now, the scales are tipping in your favor. Heaven is not emotional. Heaven is exact. And the Father keeps perfect records. He is balancing the scales now, not with revenge, but with restoration. Not with chaos, but with clarity. There are conversations being had in the unseen, where the blood of Jesus speaks on your behalf. There are angels dispatched now, not to rescue you from the fire, but to escort you through it into the new. Even as you listen now, feel the atmosphere shift. A heaviness lifting, a tightness loosening. It is not just emotion, it is evidence. Something is being traded. Your sorrow for strength, your silence for promotion, your confusion for precision. What you thought was buried is being resurrected. What you thought was forfeited is being rewritten. In this divine silence, something sacred is happening. A ledger is being closed. Your name is being removed from false accusations, false roles, false narratives. The spirit of manipulation that tried to shape your identity is being stripped of authority. And in its place, heaven is setting a crown on your head, one forged not in comfort, but in endurance. You may not see all of it at once. The exchange is gradual, but guaranteed. Watch for signs. People returning to apologize without prompting. Documents appearing with unexplained favor. Dreams that give you direction you didn't ask for. Doors opening where others slammed shut. These are signs of heaven's silent exchange becoming visible. This is why God required your silence. Because in the spirit realm, a deal was being made. And when a holy deal is underway, you don't talk, you trust. You don't fight, you focus. You don't react, you remain in alignment. The enemy hoped you'd break under the pressure, speak out too soon, unravel the protection around you. But you held your peace. And now heaven has released a counter-move. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are not late. You are on the exact timeline of divine redemption. What you thought you lost forever was simply being rerouted through the courts of glory. So breathe. Rest. Listen. Let the spirit realm finish what you started in obedience. Because the exchange has already begun. Type "I receive the exchange" in the comments if you believe heaven is trading your sorrow for strength. Blessing code 2222 is now in motion over your name. Now comes the part no enemy expected, the outcome no whispering tongue can block, the decree no demon can delay. Justice is not coming. Justice is already in motion. And the reversal has begun. You need to know this deep in your spirit. God never forgets where He found you. He does not ignore injustice. He does not overlook betrayal. And He does not sit idly while His chosen are pressed down under lies, manipulation, or spiritual sabotage. For every private battle you fought, for every time you were betrayed behind closed doors, For every silent accusation you endured, heaven took notes. And now, heaven is moving. Not with vengeance, but with righteousness. Not with wrath, but with reversal. This reversal is not just poetic, it's prophetic. You will begin to see the hand of God flip the script in ways that cannot be explained by logic, connections, or talent. Your name is being cleared in rooms you didn't even know were contaminated. You are being remembered by people who once ignored your worth. And those who spoke against your elevation will now have to witness it from a distance. Because this reversal is not private, it is visible. It is loud. It is heaven's answer to every false narrative that tried to bury you. But listen closely. You are not allowed to seek vengeance. This justice is not for you to control. It is for God alone to administer. The temptation will come to clap back, to speak up, to say, "I told you so." But the Spirit of the Lord says, "Stay silent. Let me finish what I started. If you step in now, you'll reduce what I was multiplying." This is holy justice, and it cannot be contaminated by human pride. You will see restoration, but it will not always come in the form you expect. God does not merely return what was taken, He returns it better. Not the same position, but a higher one. Not the same connection, but a covenant one. Not the same platform, but a purer, more anointed space. You will not just be restored. You will be upgraded. And it will happen in ways that confuse those who tried to remove you. This is spiritual justice, when the enemy must watch the one he tried to discredit become unstoppable. When those who once manipulated now lose influence. When the snake's whispers become powerless. The oil that was held back is now flowing freely. The gates that were shut are now opening. The honor that was delayed is now arriving. You will begin to hear of people being exposed by their own words. You won't need to say a thing. God will let their lies implode. You'll watch alliances that were rooted in deception crumble without your interference. Your silence is your strategy, and your posture is your weapon. Do not drop your sword of peace. Let the divine reversal speak louder than any defense you could offer. And when it begins, celebrate wisely. Don't boast. Don't taunt. Give glory to the one who saw everything, even when no one else believed you. Your justice is not rooted in revenge. Your justice is rooted in divine recompense. Heaven is paying you back in ways only heaven can afford. Years lost to confusion, restored. Opportunities sabotaged, restored. Reputation damaged, restored. Joy stolen, restored. Time wasted, restored. But above all, your identity has been restored. You no longer wear the labels others tried to attach to you. You wear the seal of the Lord. You walk with a new name, a new authority, a new grace. This is the reversal. This is your inheritance. This is the justice that only comes from the throne. So walk boldly now. Your record has been cleared. Your spirit hath been vindicated. Your life is shifting into supernatural alignment. Type "Divine Justice is mine" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 8888 is now activated and moving over every injustice in your story. The sword has fallen. The snake has been crushed. The name has been revealed. And now, heaven closes the scroll. What began in fire ends in freedom. What once coiled around you now lies in silence beneath the feet of the righteous. You are not the same, and you were never meant to be. This journey was not random. This war was not meaningless. Every spiritual tear, every private sigh, every delayed breakthrough, every hidden battle, it all brought you here, to this sacred threshold, to this divine unveiling, to this voice you're hearing now that says with final authority, you are no longer bound. You are no longer under. You are no longer blind. The snake was subtle, but heaven was louder. The name was painful, but truth was more powerful. What they meant for harm, God flipped in your favor. And though it shook you, it did not shatter you. Though it scarred you, it did not silence you. You are standing now, not as a victim, but as a vessel. So I declare over you this closing affirmation. Say it aloud. Let heaven hear you. Let the earth respond. Let the enemy retreat. Sealed in protection. Sight restored. Sent in favor. Say it again. Sealed in protection. Sight restored. Sent in favor. This is your final affirmation. Let it echo in your mouth. Let it root in your spirit. Let it become the rhythm of your rising. Because you will rise. Not by force, but by fire. Not by performance, but by purpose. The delay has ended. The name has fallen. And the gates have opened wide. You are now walking in the aftermath of a divine war that you survived, not by your own strength, but by the shield of God's mercy and the sword of Michael's command. You were protected when you didn't know the danger. You were delivered before you had language for the bondage. You were saved before you even saw the enemy's full plan. But now, you know. Now you see. Now you rise. Walk forward but walk wisely. Steward what was restored. Protect what was purified. Guard what was revealed. Not with fear, but with reverence. Because the freedom you now carry is sacred. The vision you now hold is costly. And the mantle on your shoulders was forged in the hidden furnace of endurance. You are not rising empty-handed. You carry scrolls. You carry oil. You carry authority. You carry understanding. The pain made you dangerous to darkness. The truth made you undeniable. So rise as one who knows what it cost. Rise as one who knows who covered you. Rise as one who walks not in echo but in command. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. And no snake, no name, no memory, no scheme will ever pull you back into that pit again. Now go. Step forward into the field that was once fenced off. Cross into the land that was once cursed. You are not who they said you were. You are exactly who God ordained you to be. And now, the trumpet of heaven sounds one final time. Is finished. Type Amen. I receive it all in the comments if you are stepping into this new beginning. File blessing code 000 is now resting over your entire household. If this word shifted something deep within you, if your spirit was ignited, if the sword of truth pierced through the fog, then you are not alone. There are millions more waiting to be awakened just like you were. And your support helps make that happen. Every time you sow into this ministry, you are not just supporting a platform. You are funding spiritual rescue missions. Proverbs 11:25 declares, The generous soul shall be made rich, and he who waters will himself be watered. When you give, you water deliverance. You plant fire in the path of someone who's still blind, still bound, still believing lies. You're helping the next one see. Your giving is a prophetic act. The holy response. A shout back to heaven saying, I align with the word. I bless the mission. I send this fire forward. Use the super thanks. Join the membership, or give through PayPal using the link in the video description. Don't wait. Give while the fire is fresh. Let your generosity become your declaration. The snake was destroyed, the name revealed, and now we carry the sword together.